Hey everybody, Colin here again. We're still in round one, and man, oh man, we paired into each other.
Yeah.
Wasn't that cool?
I'm excited.
We played a tournament game last year.
Yeah, we did.
Memes into orcs.
Yes, we did.
That we both overthought.
Yes.
Right? We both spent the whole game.
Yeah.
I've had so many bullets that you had no shot.
Nope.
And we both overthought it. It was
freaking out
super
about that
intense,
game.
and we were both just like, yeah, it's got to happen.
Yep.
Anyways, this is a lot like that, actually.
Yeah.
This is going to hopefully be a lot like that, is what I mean.
Yes.
So I'm playing Harlequins because someone had to. They're fantastic. I'm playing light. I made the fluffier version of a Harlequin list because I didn't want to just bring 9 Void Weavers, because obviously they're the best data sheet. So I brought 7 because that makes me a hero to the people somehow. So I brought 7, and I brought 5 bikes, which aren't actually one of the better things in the book, but they advance and charge 22 inches.
And they're cool. So,
for no CP.
So
And they fall back and charge.
Automatically.
And they fall back and shoot.
Yeah.
Like, it's just kind of like, how can I not play with them?
Sure.
They're 50 points apiece. That's how you can't play with them.
exactly. 2 bucks or 1 Void Weaver.
It's a really funny, actually. If I think about it that way, it just makes me feel dumb.
Yeah.
All right, so I had the bike. I had 5 bikes. I have 7 Void Weavers. I have 4 boats. Each boat has 5 dudes inside of it. One boat has 6 dudes inside of it because points are complicated. And then all of those boats have all the weapons. And for the 4 boats have 2 fusion each. And yeah, and then I've got the Shadow Seer with the spell for the Feel No Pain. I've got the Death Jester with the Redonkulous. I'm just gonna roll a 6 because I've decided to thing that I'm hoping I get to snipe an orc character with, because like orc characters usually just have wounds and armor saves.
Yep.
So
go away pretty quick.
I'm really excited about that. And then I have the Troop Master with all the things.
Right.
The player of the light with the ignoring involves.
With the 3 damage.
Yeah,
all
the things. So orcs are now a challenge. Like 17 minutes ago, they were S tier and we were all complaining about them.
Yeah.
It was like 3 days ago.
Now they're kind of a dumpster tier.
Yeah, now they're really bad.
They're not...
And you're like the most committed orc player I know. Sorry, Rich Kilton. So what are you bringing to this game?
I'm still playing Goff Pressure.
Okay. Which I haven't played against in a long time, if at all.
Which, not having experienced Goff Pressure, it is kind of like a wake-up call of like, holy crap, it moves so fast and it does so much damage.
Yeah.
It's character core, Gaz and the biker boss for damage, Makari and the big mech to keep stuff alive, Weird Boy to buff stuff. And then we've got 3x3 of like the core units, I like calling them. 3 Battlewagons with hard cases and Deff Rollas, 3 squads of 4 pigs, 3 squads of 5 Meganobz, 1 is 6 because of points.
3 squads of 4 pigs.
3 of 3 and 3 of 3 and 3
If that's not Saturday night. Okay. Anything else?
2 squads of Storm Boys for Rod.
Okay.
And Gretchin.
I love Storm Boys.
Yeah, they're good.
Storm Boys are amazing.
They're actually really good at punching into Harlequins. Like, I'll probably won't take Rod just so they can maybe crack open a boat or something.
Oh, yeah, right?
They're super good
They
at
get
that.
so many attacks. Yeah.
Yes.
That's great. Okay, so we'll be back in just a moment, and we'll have the game up, and we'll tell you all about it. Here we go. So here you have our deployment on this fantastic mission. And this is the one where we have the 5 objectives, but we're in the corners, right?
Yeah, this is Death and Zeal, mission 32.
How does anybody but me, everybody remember the names? I don't know. So
Because
basically,
I'm a nerd.
roughly we're like this, but it's not really, but roughly we're like that.
Yep.
And we did player place terrain, and really the only significant stuff is I think this was brilliant.
Yep.
Lukas, I put my first thing out here because I didn't want Lukas to have a wall over the middle objective.
That was smart as well.
Because if there had been a wall right here across the objective, I have to charge through that wall, and you could put a whole bunch of crump back there, and I would get crumped, and it would feel really bad. So I put this here to push him back. He then put this out there and this because he just doesn't need a bunch of terrain over here. He doesn't need a bunch of terrain over here in the corner. He doesn't need a bunch of terrain back here. So he has extra terrain to spend. And so that was really great. Deployment-wise, let's clear off the things we're currently looking at. Deployment-wise, I'll walk myself. So I've got 4 transports like this. This one this third from the left is the one where the Troop Master's at. The Death Jester's over in this one here. This one over here has 6. Actually, this one has 6 people. This has the Death, whatever. Behind it, we've got 2 units of 3 Void Weavers, and then the 1 Void Weaver, and then the 5 bikes back here. 5 dudes on foot just getting ready to R&D. We talked about it, and there was no ability to shoot or charge me on the first turn really at all. Yeah. So I just kind of deployed position for what I wanted to do later. Meanwhile, over on the walk side of the table, this guy and this guy and this guy are your Battlewagons, right? And then over here, you pretty much have.
I had 2 squads of Storm Boys and a squad of Pigs. I knew that was my weak flank, so I wanted to put something over there, but not invest super heavily. I didn't want to give it to Colin.
For sure. And then this is Gaz.
Yeah.
And then underneath the round thing,
there's a bunch of piggies and just a various assortment of characters.
Right.
So I've got all my chunk kind of in the top middle.
Now, I didn't see this, by the way. I actually felt silly that I didn't see this. But your plan the whole time was to roughly go like this.
Yep.
Right, with your flank.
Yeah, that's about right.
Because if I'm over here and I send resources over here to try to stop you, I might overextend.
Yeah.
And overextending is how you beat me.
Yes.
Right? Basically, if I overextend the Harlequins wrong and I'm not careful, which we'll see how I do at that.
Yeah.
But that's where you let the orcs in. So you have that plan, and then you've got the plan of the big dogs coming this way.
Yeah.
And what was your plan with this?
My thinking was I jam a ruin onto that objective, so maybe I can hold it from that side of line of sight for a little while, because those ruins have no windows.
Right.
So I did get 1 free turn of quote unquote holding it, because I could just jam a guy in the corner.
Right. This one has a window and this one has a window.
Yep.
But this one and that one do not.
That's correct.
Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get the game started here. Lucas, this is me. I rolled a 2. Lucas then talks about how bad it's going to feel when he rolls a 1 to go first.
I rolled a 5.
And you rolled a 5, and the world was better.
That has happened way too many times for me to feel good about that.
So, Lucas, how important was that first turn roll?
Pretty important. I feel like maybe I get some extra points around on turn 5, but the thing is, Colin's army does so much damage, and I only have really 1 turn of resiliency with the 5-up invuln, that I'm pretty much tabled by turn 4, so I'm not really getting any end game points anyway.
Yeah.
May as well get a free round of Strangle and get some banners up. I took banners. It was my worst secondary by far. You'll kind of see why throughout the course of this game.
And the thing that I wasn't thinking about here is that by letting Lucas have, I mean, I couldn't have really stopped you of having a middle forest.
No. Yeah.
But by having the middle forest, you were able to make all of my shooting -1. And my shooting in my first turn is good, but it absolutely was impacted by that. Yeah. There was a bunch of shooting that didn't happen because of the money.
I mean, yeah, I've rolled this math many, many times, and with -1 to hit and the 6-up shrug and the 5-up invuln, the 7 Void Weavers kill about a tank and a little bit.
Yeah.
So we'll get to what happens there in a second, but honestly, calling hot rolls and like just the defenses could have been so much better.
Well, right now it's not even my turn yet, so I can't hot roll yet.
Yeah.
And do we have any also even remembered that I haven't rolled my laughing dice yet?
Yes. That was something we kind of discovered, or not discovered, but remembered halfway through was
because it's the beginning of the battle round so that I can use it defensively, which is amazing.
Throughout the course of this game, I'm going to call them haha dice, which I think is hilarious, and I think everyone else should call them haha dice too.
I want ones that have like the Joker face on them. Yeah. Right? For the Harlequins?
Yeah.
Just like, yeah.
Yep.
I like that. I like the idea of that. I think it's great.
Yeah.
I mean, like the Joker from Batman. Whatever. It doesn't matter. So here comes the guys up the board. Never underestimate how far the orcs go.
Yeah, they can go fast.
Those storm bites, by the way, I couldn't get an angle on them.
Yeah.
Like you did not carefully measure. You did not look at the angle. Like an absolute stud. You just eyeballed that from the millions of games you've played with orcs. You just eyeballed that. Oh, I believe you did. I don't think it was accidental.
Oh, I will. I don't think that's...
No, I'm not giving you complete credit.
I definitely wanted to hide, but I was not super careful about the angle. Yeah. I figured if you came up far enough, like, you can kill my storm boys, that's fine. So you'll notice that I have a lot of meat on like my Dawn of War side. Like I'm controlling those 3 objectives pretty well. Well, I'm pretty weak on the lower right-hand objective, which is going to come bite me in the butt pretty quick. That was kind of my strategy to kind of let Colin have that objective, but it went pretty quickly his way without too much of a fight.
Looks like we've moved into my turn.
Yep.
So
all I did in my turn was strangle and put up a banner.
Yeah. Which it looks like the scores didn't get updated yet, but that's okay. So I'm doing a ton of measuring with both Harlequins and also with Crafter Lola. There's so much movement and everything is so fragile. I know that Harlequins get a reputation of being hard to kill, and they are, but they're fragile if you play them. Right. And so I try to be really careful about thinking through where everything goes before I move anything. I'm really bad at that. I want to start moving things. It's fun.
Yeah, I'm also terrible.
I just want to start moving stuff. Like, let's go. Let's just start moving things. But then if you think about where everything's going to end up, especially for things like auras, it's a big deal. Yep. So That was a little hard for you guys to see, so I'll point it out to you. We'll use red for the fancy dancing people. The troop master just ran to there, and you're like, why did he do that? Well, I actually told you why it was happening, because if I kill the Battlewagon next to that guy, then the Meganobz come out, and because I'm +6 to charge, I'm going to be able to charge them, and then I'm going to kill them, and I'm going to get back into the transport. And I explain what transport's going to do it, and then we don't move the transport, and I catch it, and we move it later, which was really nice of you. After I was like, this is what's happening.
I mean, you told me what was happening, so I think it's basically locked in.
Yeah, right. So my idea was all my shooting goes into the Battlewagon, but I do it far enough away that I don't just get charged like crazy.
Yeah.
And then I decide I can't stop my whole army from getting charged, so I'm going to put 1 unit of Void Weavers in front. Now, at this time, I'm thinking when he tries to make this charge, I'll then move away. And frankly, we'll see in a minute, you're just faster than my brain considered.
Yeah.
I just wasn't.
There's ways when you can put pressure on Harlequins when they're not at the very back of your charge range. There's ways to play around the light strategy. Sure. Even like worst case scenario, if I'm just 1 inch away from you, you move 6 inches directly away. That's still a 7-inch charge, and Orks have innate reroll. So like that is totally makeable.
Right.
So there's a lot of ways to play around light, and you'll see me attempt to do that in my turn. I kind of botch it pretty bad, but I do end up making it to the Void Weavers, which we'll see in a second. But yeah, I think Colin's goal here is like pop a Battlewagon, see what we can do to the second one, and then the Troop Master hopefully cleans up the 5 Meganobz.
Yeah, I would have taken that. If the first turn outcome had been 1 Battlewagon and the Meganobz inside of it, and nobody gets into me, great.
Yeah,
but it's not at all what's going to happen.
Yeah,
you were so much faster than I was thinking. Right? It's because there's a difference between someone telling you the numbers for how fast they go, and then actually seeing the whole army do it.
Yep.
And it's because you have army-wide advance to charge, right?
Yep.
Yeah, army-wide advance to charge is so good.
Everything except for the Battlewagons, but they're usually close enough.
They're also quick,
yep.
Frankly. Mm-hmm. So those Harlequins aren't doing R&D down there, wrapped around the bikes. The bikes are back there. They're just going to get some shots. There wasn't any super fun 22-inch yellow charge.
Yeah.
For them to do that made any sense at all.
There's one nice thing about this matchup is the Shuriken Cannons, until they get shots on their ideal targets, which are the pigs and the Meganobz.
Everything but the Battlewagons.
Have to shoot the Battlewagons, and the Shurikens don't do much to Battlewagons. No. Hitting on 4s, winning on 5, saving on 4s is basically no damage.
I did chip damage. I did 2 or 3.
You can piddle away like if you're on a couple wounds or something.
Yeah.
But it's not lethal.
No. So that's me I'm basically setting up Void Weavers to shoot at that Battlewagon. The 1 unit Void Weaver I have off again on an angle on the other Battlewagon because I didn't think I would need him and all the Shuriken and everything. Because that's not how the world works.
So here we can see kind of the speed of Harlequins. I think you're basically done moving, and I'm taking saves at this point. Moving into the shooting phase.
Yeah.
We can really see the strength of Harlequins being able to deploy so defensively and then still make it to basically all the midfield objectives in 1 turn.
Yeah, I don't even know if they saw me move this guy.
No, there is 1 Star Weaver kind of tucked under that ledge.
Yeah.
And his role right now is to block my Meganobz disembark, so I can't get another model line objective, and because I only have 1 pig on the objective, that's a contested objective, which is all Colin wants. He doesn't need to hold it. He's going to get stranglehold anyway.
Also, there's a key strategic thing here that we haven't talked about yet, which is that because your army is mostly close combat damage, you're very bad against armies with everybody's in a boat.
Yes.
And so my plan here is, the boat's going to die. You can charge everything in the world into it. And then my guys are just going to be there. And I'll still get to use them.
Yeah, they'll still, and I can't even like pile in, right? Because they fall back and shoot me.
Yeah, and they'll punch you.
Yeah, and they'll punch me.
And you had 2 damage hitting.
Yep.
Hitting? 2 damage hitting.
That sounds about right.
That's not good English. That English is not accurate.
What do you mean? That's the gooder English. Yeah.
My wife always says that she could spend hours thinking about what she's going to say, and it's still going to sound bibbity boppity boo when she goes to say it.
I feel that. Yeah. So
good thing you don't do a podcast.
Yeah.
Where like people are looking for you to be articulate.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good thing I don't do that.
Okay. So all the shooting's happening here, and the basic gist is that here's all the Void Weavers shooting into the Battlewagon right now. I actually send 1 Shuriken downfield for no reason that makes any sense, trying so hard to be efficient that I outthink myself here. Because I think what happens, the Battlewagon, so there's the big hits, and now it's at 2, and then here's the Shuriken that I put into it, and I don't wound, And here's the shuriken into the other one that I do 2 damage to, so it would have killed him if I had just put all the shooting into the primary target.
Yeah, he ended up needing a fusion pistol.
Yeah.
There's now a bunch of people, a bunch of pizza inside the house.
Okay. Let Jason know.
Yes.
People in the other room.
Cool.
All right, so I was distracted. Okay.
It's all good. So I think what we're doing here is we're resolving the effects of Colin's shooting phase.
Oh,
Here's what happened. He cracked that kind of the converted Battlewagon, the one that's very rectangular and squat. He killed it and it exploded.
and you went, no, you careened.
Yeah, it exploded.
Which is
so
awesome.
I careened.
Yeah.
To A, move it away from my castle, and B, have a decent shot at doing some damage to some of Colin's stuff.
Yeah, so he hits this and the boat here
Yep.
and these guys, which he does a lot to.
Yep.
And this and this.
Here's the crazy
And
thing.
that.
Battlewagons explode for D6.
Yeah.
And the Troop Master has 5 wounds.
Yes.
Imagine if that 5-up hits Colin.
Oh, I know.
That would have been very dumb.
But instead you do 2 to him.
I did 1 to him.
But you did do, did you do 1 to him?
Yeah.
But you also put his boat to 2.
Yep, which was good.
Yes, which is good.
Because
he's going to get back in the boat.
and he's the only guy in there, very importantly. So now I have a decent chance at
smiting it.
nickel and diming it with shooting or smiting it.
Yep.
So yeah, we'll see how that goes in a minute. But he is now going to be hard to dislodge.
Yeah. And this is the 5 Meganobz that got out.
Yep.
They survived.
Yep.
They're
So they're going to
massive
take
kills.
a little bit of heat here, but again, remember Colin's plan is to just charge him with the Troop Master, and Troop Master's AP 2, so he puts the Meganobz on 4s, which is like not amazing, but it's flat 3 damage, so it's a bunch of coin flips and go.
Well, and I can get back in the boat,
Yeah.
even if I fail at killing you all.
He's not at risk of taking any damage. It's just free, cost him a CP, do some free damage.
Well, he also helped him crack the boat too,
Yep.
so
'Cause
he got a lot of value being out.
Yeah, didn't he fusion pistol the boat?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Yep, he did.
Boat, of course, meaning Battlewagon for the uninitiated.
Well, it's weird because I also have a lot of boats, so it's
That's true.
awkward. The rest of the shooting isn't really meaningful here. I kill.
It does actually. No, you do kill my silver Battlewagon. That is pretty meaningful. Because of the explosion, I think it did
that's
5 wounds to it, and I failed all the Finlow pains.
Yeah.
The last Void Weaver hot rolled and just basically killed it with Shuriken and the gun. Which is
Yeah.
unfortunate. So they're getting their disembark either way, but I'm losing the guy.
Look at all the 6s you rolled.
Imagine
You rolled
thousands
so
of
many
roll in
6s
combat.
on the people getting out. It's not great. Not good value for your
Nope.
6s though.
Nope, I wanted those elsewhere.
Imagine if it was exploding 6s and they like hit other people on their way out. That'd be great.
They are in melee range right now. They can
Yeah.
touch themselves.
That'd be great. Like like the orcs get out and on a 6, they do a mortal to like an enemy unit within 6
And
as
on
they
a 1,
jump
they do
out.
immortal themselves.
Yeah.
They're just so excited to fight.
that'd be
That would
great.
cool.
I would be down with
would be
that.
a sick rule. Taking your objective and killing your truck.
I like the
It's
idea that they're like
way out.
taking pieces of broken Battlewagon and like hurling it at me on their way out of the explosion. That's great. All right. So the person doing the scores for us hasn't figured out that there's a round and phase counter at the top of the screen. So we apologize for that.
So we do have my score. I think we're just starting my turn now. So because you've done all your shooting.
Yeah.
Oh no, the Troop Master's punching the Meganobz. That's what's
Yeah, he sure is.
Yep.
And he kills him down to 1, I think.
He kills 3. Because remember I debated for 500 years whether or not to see.
I also
one.
shot one of them off.
Yep.
So
So yeah, 3 of them end up dying, but luckily the last one does stick his morale. See that. So,
and then does work here in a moment.
yeah.
Oh, we've got Colin trying to remember exactly what the Troop Master does. That's good. We can see me flumming through the picture in the bottom of the corner of the screen there.
Eldar book not organized very well.
No, it's almost like mixing the CWE and the Harlequins together is bad.
Yes, especially when you don't put all the rules in separate chunks in separate places.
Yeah.
Just mix them. Like, why?
And so we're pretty sure that I didn't take the +1 strength, +1 attack thing, or I should be rolling 7 dice here.
Yeah. I think
I will change it for the next list. I should have it. It's just I got confused because I'm not a Harlequin player, to be perfectly honest, and I'm trying to learn it all. So yeah, this is Lukas spending. Okay, do I reroll? Do I reroll? Do I reroll? Do I reroll?
Yeah, there's like a solid. It's gonna look like 20 seconds, but it's actually more like a minute and a half.
Yeah, because we're at 300%,
Yeah.
and then he fails it anyways.
Yeah.
Which
So-
is, I mean, the luck rerolls aside, I'm actually almost at the point in my life where I want to stop rerolling dice with command points altogether.
Oh no, it was definitely I mean,
It seems like every time I want to do it, it's bad.
It turns out bad.
Yeah.
I was weighing the pros and cons of thinking about how many CP I needed next turn, and I was like, if I have one more Meganob, that helps out a fair bit. So I'm just gonna go for it.
Okay. All right.
Unfortunate, didn't land. Okay. All right. So what's happening here? We're totaling up the scores for Colin. He's this is actually not a turn he grabs Stranglehold because he's not in the middle. He's just holding the bottom two, and the top left is contested. So he's going to miss Stranglehold, but he does get Deadly Performance. For those who aren't aware what that is, that's if you satisfy 2 of the following 4 conditions, you get 3 points. Take an objective back from an enemy, kill 2 units in shooting, kill 3 units in melee, and have one of your units in enemy DZ. So you get 2 of those. If you satisfy 2 of those conditions, you have 3 points. So pretty easy for Colin to grab that. I mean, the shooting one is basically guaranteed every turn. And then all he has to do is flip an objective, which is like, are you playing the game? If yes, then 3 points.
And why don't you talk through the scores at the end of the round too? Because we're starting top of 2 now.
Yeah. So yeah, he does grab Deadly Performance for 3, and he's done his first round.
Yeah.
So he at this point has 2 on the primary for taking a midfield objective, 3 on Stranglehold, 3 on Performance. So that is 8 points. And then for me, I've got 3 on the secondary. I'm just about to grab 4 on the primary.
So talk through what you're trying to do here.
I am.
What's your plan to come back from that?
Doing as much damage as possible. So I've still got 6 Meganobz that can realistically get a charge on these 3 Void Weavers that are kind of right up in front. And I'm going to use some shenanigans to make sure they can't light run away. And then all I'm going to try to do is wrap and kill as many boats as possible. Very importantly, you'll remember that middle Star Weaver went down to 2 wounds from the Battlewagon exploding. So what I'm going to try to do is smite that away and then smite/shoot that away so I can charge the True Master and kill him inside. Because getting rid of that guy before he can jump back in different boats is pretty good. So you can see a whole wave of orcs committing here. I'm going to hit Colin pretty hard, honestly. I do a fair amount of damage. But I am going to all corners of the map now. So my defense is basically zilch at this point, fortunately.
And I didn't understand that. I haven't played against orcs very much recently, and certainly not this type of Goff rush. I was surprised at how different the vulnerability or durability was on turn 2 than
not a lot of people are taking the mech. I think they're kind of crazy, honestly. Having 1 turn of 5 of invul, and it costs you 2 CP, but it increases your durability so much.
Sure, yeah.
So I pop that, and then I have the 6-up shrug from Makari. But the problem is both those auras are, one of them is once per game, and one of them is 3 inches. So after that, I have no defense left. All I'm trying to do here is just kind of put units all over the place, crack as many transports as possible, and kill 3 Void Weavers.
And see, can I kill enough?
Yeah.
Because you're spread out.
Yeah.
And you're going to grab as much stuff in combat as you can.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Harlequins.
I need to do as much damage as possible because Colin's going to hit me really hard next turn, so I want to make sure he has as little left as possible.
Yeah, there's not a lot of caginess that either of us can do right now.
Nope.
And if I hadn't moved moved stuff forward, you could have charged even more into me. So
at the very least, I did not do very well on points this first turn, but I did get Colin to put some stuff in my face, so I am going to get a chance to kind of kill some stuff right here, which is good.
So the boat in the middle of the table has 2 wounds on it. That's important.
Yep. Smited it. Unfortunately, rolled a 1.
And then re-rolled it, and then did a 1.
I also CP rerolled Warpath cast and failed it, which was very sad. So that brought me down to 3 CP. So at this point, here's what I'm thinking, right? This is actually a very critical decision point that I took a while on. I either send the Meganobz to 3 damage, that 5-man unit, so that Void Reapers guaranteed die, or I go for a ramming speed to try to crack that boat open, because what's going to happen is that boat that's right in the middle of the board is at 1 wound, and I shoot my whole army at it, and it takes no damage. So unfortunately, that True Master is now alive, unless I spend 2 CP on ramming speed to crack the boat. Which we'll see kind of what happens there in a second. But letting that True Master live is very bad for me. So I'm going to invest all the resources I can in trying to make sure he dies.
Right, and what you're trying to do, you have to get the boat dead before the charge fails.
Yeah, but what happens is the shooting doesn't kill it.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
So, yeah, we'll kind of get to the charge phase in a second. But here, all I'm doing is just nickel and diming this boat as much as possible and kind of failing at it. Fortunately. Yeah. We can see my bottom right-hand flank is very, very weak. Colin's got a boat with dudes on it, plus spikes ready to spring onto it, and I basically have 5 Storm Boys. So that objective is going to crumble pretty quick.
You also have 9 Orc Riders there, so.
Yep.
On that same flank.
The thing is, they get torn up by Shuriken.
But we don't know that yet.
The math knows it.
Okay, the math isn't where?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's happening here? I'm just punching some Star Weavers. I'm piling in. How are you feeling about the setup? Like, are you worried at this point of how much I've thrown in your face?
I have realized that I've sacrificed the 3 Void Weavers at this point, which is why I don't use the move away stratagem on them.
Yep.
Because if I use the move away stratagem on them and I pull this guy to here, and this guy to here, and this guy to here, he still makes the charge from right here. It's not that big of a deal.
Yep.
So what instead I do is he uses ramming speed on this guy, and because he's got to fish around the side here, I basically move my 6 over to here. And because you're now not doing mortals in the charge phase, the boat doesn't die.
Yes.
Which means I have saved the master. Unless he dies from getting out.
Yeah. This was a misplay for me. There was no reason for me to not charge with my characters first to get them out of the way, and then the boat could have still made the ramming speed charge, even with the light strategy.
I couldn't have left.
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
I mean, the first one, when I charged my big mech in, you could have fallen back and still gotten the distance. But I'm trying to move like 10 inches on 3 dice. Like, it's totally
right, for sure.
So that is a serious bummer.
What's funny is I put so much resource into trying to keep him alive, and he doesn't do a lot from this point.
No, he actually doesn't do a lot. That's true.
Yeah, so we both spent so much time trying to make sure he died. And
the real thing that he sucked out of my army was 3 CP. Because what happened was I CP'd my Warpath to try to make that whole play happen. And then I ended up ramming speeding and not landing it. So I basically just threw 3 CP in the toilet, which was a misplay.
Right.
So we're making combat everywhere.
So those are boats.
Yep.
And I'm pointing, actually these are boats. And I'm pointing that out because this one's hard to see.
Yep.
Down the one near the bottom here. This one's just sitting on an objective. Lukas isn't going to charge that.
Nope.
He's going to end up touching it, but he's not going to charge it.
Yeah, I just want Colin to not control. So I don't want to pop that boat.
Right. And so then this boat, he's going to put Orc Riders here, Storm Boys here, Storm Boys here. He's going to put this Meganob in here, this Meganob here. I've done this wrong. I'm taking way too much damage on that unit of Void Weavers. At the same time, holding up his army with these Void Weavers is not bad. I mean, it's only 270 points that I'm using to hold you back from the rest of my army. It's just that it's the most powerful 270 points that I have. Right? Yeah. And then up here, on the upper top of boat, you're putting the everything around it.
Yep. And what I was trying to do here was surround and destroy it so the guys couldn't disembark out. We found, because I have cavalry models and vehicle models, it's very difficult.
And my bases are so tiny.
Yeah, their bases are tiny, and it's a spindly vehicle. So it's like there's 4 things working against me. So I'm like,
I'll just grab this really one little centimeter of the thing that's sticking out here and measure off of that.
Exactly, which gets you the objective. If we can have a single But so Colin does end up flipping that objective, which is unfortunate.
And I'm trying to be a good sport here.
Yeah.
Just like you're saying, I mispositioned, I could have done this. And we're talking about what I could have done in response.
Right. Yeah.
And in the end, we decide you would have had to move everything differently. In order to make it work.
Yeah. Which I just.
And so we were just like, fine, whatever. Forget it.
So this is my fault anyway for not remembering.
I really like how a lot of this is watching the top of my head where my hair is thin. I think that makes me feel really young and virile. Viral? Virile. Not virile.
Isn't that like something related to disease?
I mean, no, it means like sexually potent.
You love to see it.
Right? I'm just here to teach.
Sexually potent?
Potent, yes.
Yeah, that's a fair way to describe that.
It's on a 4-up. That's how that works.
So what's going to happen here is, despite the fact that a lot of them Goffs Ork damage is Ghazghkull's rerolls and melee buffing my efficiency by like 30%, all of his boats turn that off. So unfortunately, I'm not getting no rerolls, but he's toughness 5, so at the end of the day, I'm still making him take a lot of saves with multi-damage.
This boat died.
We're going to pick up
this boat. This boat died.
Yep.
This boat does not. This boat also dies.
Yep, it does.
Yeah.
So we're just going down the line and kind of Colin's deciding whether or not. Oh, you do end up interrupting. Oh no, you don't. You overwatch those Storm Boys. That's what happened.
Yeah. I overwatched the Storm Boys with the 3 Void Weavers for 1 CP, and I kill 1 Storm Boy. If I kill all of them, which isn't completely unlikely, it actually mattered.
Yep.
But it's not the way the world happened.
Yeah. I mean, it does matter a lot. Those 3 Storm Boys that made combo with the Void Weavers killed the one that was on 4 wounds.
Yes, and also helped with the making it hard to get out of the boat.
Yes. Yeah. I do end up, the boat that's underneath the Crash Storm Raven right now, I do end up surrounding and forcing Colin to emergency there.
Yeah.
Which is big because he unfortunately rolls to 4 1s and 2s.
I do. One guy gets out. Here he comes.
Yeah, here he comes.
Here comes the one guy.
Always
He's like,
very
where am I
scared.
going to put this scalpel? Right here.
Incoming morale
You know what, though? That guy's probably the most powerful one dude in my army for the rest of the game.
Can you guys... I'll give you a hint where he's going. Guess what's not OBSEC in the upper right corner?
Yeah, I thought they were. So my
Well-
plan was I was going to go up and charge in with my one guy
Yeah.
and just try to kill all the Grots.
Yeah, I didn't have horrible gets on my list. I have no specialist mobs, so there's no reason to not make those Grots OBSEC.
The rolling that Lukas is doing right now is killing the Stormweavers. I'll just tell you the summary. He easily kills all 3 Storm, and not easily, down to like the last save. I have to make luck reroll decisions at the end to see if I can keep one vote.
There's some haha dice involved, but what ends up happening is I do wipe out the squad basically.
Yep. And I'm thinking that that's real bad, but at the same time, I just wanted to hold, because of how much shooting I have and because my charging so good, I wanted to have like a line like this of Lukas.
Yep.
And I didn't want him to be any deeper.
Yep.
Because I wanted to be able to counter.
Yep. Because you can move super fast and I have no right advance in charge. So now you can actually position.
Right. When you play a trading close combat army, it's often a good idea to be like, here's a thing that's doing something with this guy here. And then now here's the thing that's doing something with this guy here. Like to do tiers so that the one behind can crash into the thing that killed the one in front.
Yep.
And you can get the trading rolling.
Yeah, you can basically get screening and trading out of one unit.
Right.
Which is really good.
You seen anything you should have done different?
On the top, I should have I mean I can't block your unit from getting out, but I could have positioned my piggy smarter so that you couldn't have at least gotten on the objective just by backing, because I was like right underneath.
Yeah,
you.
my 4 guys got out right here, OBSEC, and took.
I back up like 0.5 of an inch, and all of a sudden that's my objective. So
Right.
It's a 7 point swimming fortune. So that was a little micro mistake. Obviously I should have charged with my characters first and cracked the troop master boat, but we've already been over that.
Yep.
Overall, I was happy with this turn. I feel like I did a fair amount of damage.
You did.
And there is now a real chance if Colin like fumbles this turn somehow that I can still win this game.
Yeah. And so this is the first time in our game where I say, I really just need to take a minute. And this is me. I'm talking through things with Lukas to make sure that we understand the game state in the same way, which is something that bad players don't do.
Right.
But friends that are good players do, which is I'm not telling him my strategy. I'm asking questions about his rules and my rules and making sure that we both understand that we're in the same place with the same abstracts.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. We're both the assumptions we consider about the game state are true. Like, are these guys in combat? Yes or no? Is this thing falling back? Yes or no?
Right.
All those kind of things.
And that's actually an advantage that I have by being a chatty dude. That's my personality.
Yeah. So that just happens.
I tend to just grab that information, but I've noticed that a lot of people make mistakes by not knowing that.
Yeah, just be friendly and confrontational.
Confrontational.
Conversation.
What are your rules?
I'm really interested in your rules.
I have to know your rules now.
Yeah. Ask your opponent how they see the game state, just so you guys don't have any awkward experiences. Partway is basically the takeaway from that.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm basically preparing my turn.
Yep.
And I'm saying, okay, what if hypothetically I killed all of this?
Yep.
Right? What if I just killed all of it? That's the first thing I decide. I am going to kill all of that, and I'm going to kill this.
Yep.
These are 6 Meganobz, and this is all of the pig riders, other than the ones that are in the upper left hand corner.
Yep.
And some storm boys. And I don't care about Gaz at all. If Gaz charges something, he kills it.
Yep.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah.
It's 300 points. He can do that.
Right, exactly.
He can run in and kill two
Bike guy?
bikes.
Also don't care.
Yep.
Don't care about bike guy. I'm also not going to care about killing that.
Yeah.
Because at this point, I just need to take the mission away. I need to take the game away from Lukas by pushing him back off the table and getting rid of all the stuff that does things, and the Battlewagon's not what that is.
Yep. That's right.
So then what I realized, though, is that I also can get shooting and stuff and do stuff in the upper left-hand corner, but still the priority is these guys are going to shoot this way. He can shoot this way or this way. It's all about all of the angles for the things that you can do so that you have multiple targets. So you can make so that while you're killing things, you're going to overperform and underperform math, right? You know this from the way you played 19 million Smasher Guns
and boys.
where all throughout the turn, you're considering, I've overperformed, I've underperformed on shooting, and you're changing the whole rest of your shooting, which only works if you're setting up a lot of options.
Yeah. It's the one thing that's super powerful in the shooting phase that I took me a while to realize is like having activations is powerful. Not just like having a lot of guns, but being like, I've got this small unit that can nickel and dime. I've got this little indirect gun. Like that's the reason those Shadow Weavers are so strong. Is not because their gun is particularly great, but they can just pick up the spare that the Night Spinners don't kill, right? Just having little units to activate all over the place to pick up spares when you come up short, big advantage.
Yeah, it's really hard when you have an army that can't do that, and you've just got little ones and twosies all over the map running around terrain and stuff doing things.
Yeah.
Very hard to beat.
Yeah, Goffs are terrible at dealing with that stuff.
Right.
Everything is a gigantic unit.
Also, my super stud that survived the explosion has moved to here with a strong advance.
He's gonna go beat up on some Gretchin.
Actually, no, he's just going to stand there and shoot a blast pistol,
miss.
fusion pistol.
Miss
That's sad.
like a loser.
Yeah, but he's holding the objective. So what's that do? Is that good looking? Is that good,
No,
Lucas?
it's not good.
It is good though.
It's good for someone.
Yeah. Well, I do need points. Oh,
That's
so
going to be a couple points.
what's
down the
happening
toilet
here
for
is
me.
that in the upper left-hand corner is I am demonstrating that Shuriken is good at killing the pig riders.
Yeah.
That's that. We just picked up a lot of them with some. Oh no! That was with the fusion and Shuriken pistols from that unit.
Yeah, that was a bunch of various shots.
Oh, this is me down here saying, hey, earlier, Lucas, when I said I was getting my people out and I didn't put them on the table, I should have done that.
Yeah. And
And
then
we're like, whatever, we talked about it. Let's just do it.
we're just
Yeah.
figuring out where that started.
And I actually move it back here because I felt bad that I didn't do it in sequence.
Right.
And that's the most
Having another objective is just
that's the most inoffensive thing
Yeah,
I could have done with
totally.
it. This was the Stormweavers in the bottom of the corner. Skyweavers, excuse me, shooting into the pigs. They killed 2 of them, pretty good.
Yeah, the Shuriken being strength 6 and 2 damage is very good at just picking up the pigs. So we can see some of it rattling in here and picking up a couple models.
These are some boats,
Yep.
a couple boats, and the Death Jester shooting
I think
pigs.
this is what is this now? Troop squad. I think this is troop squad shooting.
Yeah, with the fusion pistols and everything.
Yeah, some stuff's just getting cleaned up.
Yep. Oh, and then we get 4 hits and 3 wounds with the.
Another thing we didn't actually talk about was your R&D. You did have that kind of paler squad of Harlequins return to the shadows,
Yeah,
and they're going to be coming in next turn for rods.
Yeah.
In one of the quarters.
but I didn't do a good job on Rod. I missed it on turn 2 entirely.
Right. I mean, you did shoot with all those troop squads, but I think it probably would have been more optimal to just go for the points. Like you probably didn't in the lower right hand quadrant. You didn't probably need those fusion pistols to kill those.
I was
pigs.
so nervous.
Yeah.
I brought Overgun out. I could because I was worried that if I didn't kill enough, Lucas would tame.
That's true because those troops were the ones that actually ended up killing the 4-man squad of pigs I had left.
Yeah.
There's a
So-
squad that's just primed in black right now. Those troops, spoiler alert, run in and smash those pigs in the face. All Harlequins have access to, when they charge, a 2 CP strat for +1 damage. And against 3-wound models, having flat 3 damage is pretty good. Who would have known?
Yeah, weird, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to. At this point, I just felt like my win condition had pivoted, and I just needed to table you.
Yep.
Because you had taken enough of the table that I had to take it back, and if I'm going to take it back, I might as well just kill it.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. So what are we seeing here? The Foot in the Future Troop Master, we're just discussing exactly where he is because that building is pretty wonky. But
Which
he's,
is, and he just charged 18, which is great.
Yep. Of course he did.
He did.
Absolute
He
unit
charged
that he is.
18 just now,
He's a Chad.
and then moved 2 inches because that's all he had to do.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so he's going to go beat up my weird boy over there who's still wounded from his close encounter with the Death Jester.
Yeah, the Death Jester doing almost nothing to
And then
him.
the 4 fusion pistols in the upper left are charging that single pig who's still chilling on the other side of the wall. So I've got a couple of little piddly units left, but really all I got is a Battlewagon. Oh, I do have 5 Meganobz inside that Battlewagon.
You
That
do.
is something I do have going.
You do for sure.
So I've got a squad of Megas.
Your back isn't broken at all at this
No,
point.
I still have a couple assets. The problem is like Colin's all over the place.
Oh,
and
yeah.
He's already up on points, unfortunately.
There's Meganobz in here.
Yep.
By the way, I forgot about them. No, that's not on you. I just, when you got them out, my brain went, oh my!
No, that's part of the plan.
My brain went, ah!
It's like there's enough stuff on the table. That's got to be it. And then you bring out the 3rd squad of Meganobz and it's like,
I love Meganobz.
They're cool.
I just love them.
they're fun.
Yeah, how many points are they? For a
30.
30?
Yeah.
And they're 3 wounds?
You
for
want to
a
know what's
5?
wild? You mitigated like 80% of my effectiveness by cutting Gaz's rerolls out. It's not 80%, but it's like 50% of my hitting power by turning off Gaz's rerolls because he gives them 4 rerolls to hit.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah. You just turned that off, by the way, for free.
I know, because
Army-wide.
the rules were good.
They're also AP3 2 damage, and the AP.
Oh, yeah. That was the Harlequins going, the Harlequin infantry going in and being like, what if we just killed you all?
Yep.
And then the bikes pile in, and I decide on the bikes to touch this guy over here and accept that there's damage.
Yep.
Just because what I don't want him to do is to go around here and charge onto the objective. I don't want, like, I've got a guy up here holding an objective. Like, I just want to stop that thing. And
I think that ends up probably being a mistake because otherwise if they weren't in combat, the light stratagem was only used when you're not in combat, right?
right.
So you could have ran away if you were not in combat.
Yes, all of that was planned. And actually, Tyler criticized me for this. Because they're in combat here, they can't run away. I don't have the CP to run them away.
That's fair.
I have 2 CP, and I want to use it to fight after death on the Troop Master, which is what happens.
Yeah, that's true.
And because he could just pick up all those Meganobz.
Yep.
He doesn't, but he could have.
Yeah.
And I didn't know he wasn't going to.
4-ups or 4-ups.
What I was trying to do here is I don't need these bikes anymore at all. But these Skyweavers, don't need them anymore. They're cool. That's fine. But these guys are important. This thing's important. These things are important. This is important. I have lots of things that still are important, more important. And so I thought by putting these guys here, I'm going to get Gaz and the bike guy to charge them. And then I can deal with them next turn.
Yeah. I mean, the bikes aren't critical. You didn't take to the last.
No.
And they're not OBSEC. And they're not that much shooting compared to the boats. They're the least important part of your game plan. You're fine if I just smash on them for a turn.
Right, exactly. And I also figured, hey, they got a 4-up invul and I have luck rerolls.
Yeah. Totally
what if they just don't die?
Yep, which is what happened.
Right.
Gaz and the bike boss rocket into them. And between volume of flat 3 and flat 4 damage weapons, probably should have picked up the squad.
But they
But
4-ups
be 4-ups. Yeah. And there's
still...
so many haha dice that Colin has no reason to not just go for it.
When you say haha, you don't ever sound happy.
There's a reason for that.
Haha dice.
It's because they're haha dice for the Harlequins, but they're definitely not haha dice for their opponent, Colin.
If we're gauging on the BS meter, how BS is the laughing luck, do you think?
It's pretty BS, but not so obscenely so.
It is their army-wide thing.
It is their army-wide
if they're not fixing.
Yes. I feel like if the rest of the units weren't so ridiculous, if Void Weavers weren't so ridiculous, I would be less upset about it.
I think that giving it to an army with a 4-up invul is questionable.
It is. I think you should start with 1 and then get however many you roll, not 3.
Yeah.
The fact that you get 3 for free is wow.
So I had 5 on all but one turn where I had only had 3.
Yeah.
But also I started with 10 CP.
Yeah.
Which is just
bunch of rerolls in there.
Those
too.
are also rerolls. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. It's
so the game is, we're obviously talking about other things now. What's happening here is exactly what I predicted. The characters are charging me down here. The little Grot guy is charging like this.
Okay.
I enjoy that. I shot him last turn and did do 2 damage to him.
Yes,
he's got 2 left.
The Shadow Seer mortaled him. He never got to use his 2-up invul because then he gets smitten.
Oh, that's right.
Smoted.
That's right. He got shot with the Phantasm.
Yes.
Yeah. That's great. And then the Harlequin is still up here. He's going to get charged by Grots, which is fun for everybody. Yep. The one part of the table that doesn't go well for me right here is that I lose the Troop Master without him doing anything.
Yeah.
And then you kill the troops that are here as well.
Yep.
And
so I've got that corner pretty locked.
That doesn't feel great.
Yeah. That corner is mine.
Yeah.
The problem is
everything else.
Yeah. My not having my backfield starting turn 2 onward is bad. Because 10 Grots, turns out they don't kill 1 Harlequin. So that's sad.
It's sad. You're right.
And that's 7 points every turn.
Well, he is T3, which is, they don't know.
All it took was one of the little Gant shots just hitting him from the slugger.
He has a 4-up invul. I make 3 of them to save him, to keep him alive, I think.
True.
He's also a 2-wound character, just to make it funny.
Right. Because
not a character. 2-wound dude.
Oh, no. Can the fusion pistol be a sergeant?
It can.
Can or cannot?
It can.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that is a sergeant.
Well, at least it can in Battlescribe. You've asked a good question.
Yeah. I mean,
but
Battlescribe is
I would, 90%, I'd say. In situations where you say, can blah, blah, blah.
Better than GW.
Lols.
So what's happening here? I'm trying my best to bash a couple of various things around the map. Oh, I think we're resolving the combat ending of bikers. Oh, yeah, because I'm rolling multiple batches of dice. So this is my brutal but cunning biker. You might think that the 4-up rerollable influence is really good into him, but he has competitive edge. So it's pretty likely that he actually picks up 3 or 4 bikers when he's coming in because he's flat 3. But unfortunately, I rolled a bunch of 1s and 2s to hit. The -1 to hit and melee really working against me. And with some haha dice, Colin only loses 1 to the biker, which is sad.
Yeah, that's true. I end up with 3 Skyweavers at the end of this.
Yep. Again, didn't impact the points at all, but just unfortunate that Colin has another resource on the board. I'm definitely behind at this point.
Yeah, so what I've realized now is that usually when you play even a really good opponent who plays this level of smashy close combat army, if I can play a turn where I predict in my brain what your turn is going to be, I've won.
Yeah.
And that's what happened here. Yeah. I knew where everything on your turn, you didn't do anything that surprised me.
No.
Everything was telegraphed.
Yep.
And everything did what I thought it would do, and it just wasn't enough.
Yep.
which I thought which is interesting in and of itself, right? It's if you're in a game where you're winning by a lot or you're losing a lot, one thing I think is interesting to do is to try to predict in your brain and try to build up your perception and prediction skills of the game. And so you can kind of be like, okay, it's going badly. I'm playing Orks into Harlequins, which feels terrible, right? Like, what do I think is going to happen? Now, what's funny about this is I think you could have won this game.
Yeah, I think so. There were scenarios in which I could win.
Yeah,
I needed to have a couple more things go my way, but I never felt doomed until like turn 3, where I'm like, okay.
Well, now there's
a couple of things didn't connect on turn 2, and that's pretty bad.
Yeah, I agree. I will say that if I had just YOLO'd forward, you would have won.
Oh no, Nick and I played that.
Oh,
he won.
It was
with
bad.
him going first.
Okay. Well. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It doesn't go well.
Okay. Why?
Because all the guys that are in the boats are obsec, so I get to kill your whole army, but then it spills out and fusion pistols me and has all the objectives.
Okay.
I'm also not good at killing 4 pinball 1-win models.
Fair enough.
Terrible at it.
I don't have any problem with that. Okay. So what's happening now is I'm going to basically kill everything that's not named gas.
Yep.
It's basically the plan here.
At this point, Colin has done 0 wounds to gas, so he's just straight up ignoring it.
Don't care.
No. Yeah, he can go run around and punch 2 bikes a turn.
And it's funny because I'm totally playing an army that absolutely can one-turn gas.
Yeah.
But
yeah, between mortals and the charge, I didn't even think about that. Mortals and the charge phase. Big deal.
Well, also I can just smite you.
Yeah. Yep.
Wait, is he 12 wounds?
He's 12 wounds.
And he's 3 per phase?
4.
4 per phase.
Yep.
Okay. So smite's actually not a good idea. Yeah. These things into those things.
Yep.
Okay. These things punchy here. These things punchy here. This thing punchy here.
Yeah.
These things punchy there.
At this,
I think that wraps it up.
At this point, you are just going cleanup duty, and literally all I have left is Gaz and like 7 Gretchin. So I actually do have those Meganobz in the top left building, but like, what are they going to go do? Sit there for another turn and get 4 points?
While we watch it wrap up here for a minute, what I'm curious about is you are like Captain Orc, right? You spend a lot of time thinking about
play a lot of Orcs.
Yeah. So as you're playing against the meta list, right? Did this help you at all think of something different you would do? Would you change the list?
No, yeah. I mean, it's at least encouraging to know that like there is potential. Like I saw a couple plays there that could have happened if I had either A, rolled a little better at certain critical points, or B, just like planned my execution a little bit better.
Yeah. So
there's still things I can improve on, and I still saw ways to exploit like maybe movement mistakes by my opponent or just openings that I could have gone for.
What about the list changes?
The list changes, I am going to cut the open top on the Battlewagons.
Okay.
It costs 45 points to make them all T8, but they lose open top and transport capacity.
Okay.
So it's a real trade-off because against you're all strength 12 and 6. Doesn't matter. And strength 4. Doesn't matter.
Well,
actually, if
strength
strength 4, it'll matter. Yeah.
I had a bunch of strength 8, and I presumed you were T8.
You have no strength 8.
All of the fusion pistols were strength 8.
That's true.
And were you T7?
I was T8.
Okay, because I was presuming you were T8.
Yeah, no, I was.
Okay.
I'm saying I'm debating cutting that down to T7, say 45.
Okay.
So that's one.
I'm not sure about that because of the fusion pistols.
That. It's also much worse than a Tau.
There's like 11 fusion pistols in this list, and that's not even that many. There's 9.
I'm also considering cutting the Big Meg. I still don't know. I popped his invul in this game. He didn't really help me at all. I mean, that's just dice. But other things I could obviously changing my Gretchin to be obsec.
I think the pig riders maybe being something that is better in the Harleys and Eldar is probably a good idea. Because if they can't be in a transport because they're on a pig, and they're bad into shuriken cannon, I just think that's a really bad place to be in the meta right now.
Yeah.
And I know they're cool. Like I acknowledge that they're fast and that they hit really hard.
They were good until a bunch of like mid-strength, mid-damage firepower came out.
Well, it's just that even the Craft World Eldar lists are going to have even Craft World Eldar lists are going to have a bunch of shuriken cannons just cause.
Yep. Yeah.
So
I would still keep them in if they. That's probably what I'm going to do is get rid of them. Or at least some of them. One thing I'm thinking about is like a truck.
Yeah.
With a bunch of like maybe just truck boys in it because they're obsec and fast and can go beat up on 5 Harlequins no problem.
Yeah.
So that way I could have threatened your bottom objective left in your DZ because 10 boys kill 5 Harlequins no problem and they're obsec.
Right.
So just steal that from you. That was all you had on it.
All right, so we're basically doing endgame scoring, and we figure out that I would have gotten a 94. I would have missed 6 on secondary, and to be honest, because I don't remember. I missed my 3 on. I missed Stranglehold on a turn.
Yep, and you rods.
There you go. So the end score was 94 to 54 if you include paint.
Yep.
Great game.
Yeah, it was a great game.
I had a lot of fun.
I did have a lot of fun.
Me too.
Yep.
Really,
Definitely a learning game. As well.
playing Lukas is always super interesting, for sure. He's just such a competent player. So I'll continue on now, and it looks like in the second round I will be playing Nick,
Crons.
the Necrons.
I'm excited for that.
I think it's going to be really interesting. I think he also doesn't want to be shot by me.
I don't think so either. I think he's
also
very
not-
good. I think he cares about the shuriken, and I did not.
Oh, that's not good. Okay, thank you guys. Thanks for watching.